Hi everyone, I'm Christy Forsyth with Clarity by Christy. I am a soul therapist and an intuitive that connects with the angelic energy, and I help the helpers, the healers, and the light bringers of this world to live their most magical life. So if you are watching this on my YouTube channel, make sure you swing down below. If you're not subscribed already, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell so you can get notifications for all the videos that I'm sharing here on this channel. And if you're watching live on my Facebook, make sure you swing by my YouTube channel and get yourself subscribed. Actually, on my YouTube channel right now, I am in the middle of releasing all of my February angel readings. So half of those are up. The other half will be up within the next couple of days. So make sure you swing by, check it out, see which ones are up, see if yours is up. Like I was sharing with you guys before, one of the ways that I recommend that you use that is by knowing your sun sign, your moon sign, and your ascending sign. And if you use the three of those together, then you can watch the 3 videos, and that'll give you an even better picture of what to expect through the month and what the angel messages are for you for the month. Those have been really fun for me because it's been a little bit different. I've shared with you guys that I felt really called to, in fact, I got a pretty direct message that it was time to not do the tarot scopes. It was time to not deliver the messages with the cards, and it was just time to channel those messages. So I say that it was fun, but to be honest with you guys, it's been out of my comfort zone. It's definitely been pushing me out of my comfort zone and really forced me to trust that the messages are going to come, right? And I talk to you guys all the time about how we need to trust and how we need to put our trust in our guides, our angels, in the divine. And so that's what I'm doing, right? I really do try to live up to the things that I share with you guys. So how's everybody doing? I would love to hear from you below. Make sure you say hi. Make sure you comment if you're watching on the replay. But I'd love to hear how Mercury retrograde is treating all of you right now. We are in that period of time. And I'm definitely going to be talking about my experience with that and what's going on for me, because I don't know, this, they say that this retrograde, I'm a Taurus, and that this retrograde is really hitting Tauruses a lot. And I think that that's very, very true. But I'm curious how everybody's feeling, how everybody's doing, what you guys are reflecting on right now, what's coming through for you, what's coming up for you, because this is definitely a period where old stuff comes up, or the things that we maybe have thought that we have dealt with in the past, but like if they're not completely resolved, they will come up again. It's an opportunity to revisit those, to work through those, and that is absolutely my experience. Hi Darcy, nice to see you on here. So this is, I mean, where we're at right now is very much about, where are we giving our power away? Where are you giving your power away? Where have you been giving your power away? And I'm not talking about where are you giving your power away this week. This is about, like, what are your patterns for giving away your power? How have you been giving your power away for a very long time? Maybe throughout most of your life, maybe for on and off for extended periods of time. And I'm going to share my story with you, because number one, I think like it just will help you guys to connect and understand where I'm coming from with some of these things. But I also think, like, I don't know, I feel like there's so much to be learned through other people's stories and through the things that they're sharing. So I'm going to talk about for those of you who were here on my Facebook last night, raise your hand if you, virtually raise your hand, if you were here to watch the video that Nicole and I did. So last night was a really interesting experience for me. For those of you that don't know much about me, for years, for much of my life, public speaking has been a real challenge for me, has been very anxiety provoking. And even now, every time that I make a video, I get nervous, right? I'm way more comfortable with it than I used to be, but I definitely get nervous. And part of it, I think, is just energy, and I've learned to kind of understand that it's just energy. Like, I have so much energy flowing through me right now, so what that feels like is what other people would call anxiety, and it can present as anxiety as well. So for a very, very long time, that was really hard for me. And I've had to, through the years, really push myself and sign up for things that made me wildly uncomfortable, including making these videos, to push myself out of my comfort zone. And so, and Nicole and I used to make videos together all the time. And actually that used to be way more comfortable for me to do than it was to do it on my own, because, you know, I was afraid to do it on my own. So when I transitioned into that was a really hard transition for me. But what I found happening for myself last night was that I got hit with so much energy, but so much anxiety that I felt like a deer in headlights the entire time. It was wildly uncomfortable for me. And it was, you know, retrograde brings us back to old stuff, right? And it was like, how can I explain it? It was like bringing me back to periods in my childhood where, and not even my childhood, when I was older too, where I just would go, like I went for an entire month in kindergarten without saying a word to anyone, not even to my teacher, because I was afraid to speak. I was afraid to share my voice. I was, you know, I always felt like it wasn't important. And so, and I would have periods like that in my life where that was really hard for me to share my voice. And especially in a situation where I didn't necessarily feel comfortable, I would just get really quiet, fade into the background, and that would be that. So that was really interesting for me, because it, like, all of a sudden it was like this whole feeling, this stuff that I had actually forgotten, because I've been doing this for quite some time and I found like some level of comfort in doing this stuff, but it just brought all of that back for me. And like the internal dialogue was like, you don't know what you're talking about. Who are you to be doing this? And just let Nicole talk. Just let her do her thing. She's so good at this. And it was this whole process, and it was all this old stuff. And so it was like wildly uncomfortable for me. And I really stepped into like this old role that I used to see myself in as like more of a sidekick than a leader. So I'm sharing this with you. And then this morning, I basically got what I call a come to Jesus moment with my angels, right? Where they kind of are like, what the F are you doing? You know, they don't say that, but what are you doing? What the hell was that last night, you know? And they wanted me to reflect on that. They wanted me to pull that up, but they really said, you know, like, it's time for you to step back into your power. It's time for you to connect back with your confidence again, because I've had just some stuff recently that has really tested that has really shaken that confidence. And so they said, it's time to step back into your power. It's time to take your power back. It's time for you to remember who you are. And, you know, why don't you trust that you have an important message to share? Why don't you trust that you were created to bring something powerful here onto earth? So I share this with all of you because I think that this is what so many of our internal dialogue look like for all of us, you know, or for so many of us, where we doubt ourselves and we don't have that confidence, and we can step into old stuff where suddenly we're not, you know, the person that we are now, but we're that kid that was stuck, that struggled. And retrograde will do that. It'll pull you back into that stuff. And the whole purpose of that is to heal what needs to be healed within that, but also for us to come back to our power. Also for us to recognize, like, that's not where I'm at anymore. And that's not the truth. And it's time for us to understand what our truth is. And it's time for us to understand how powerful we are and how amazing we are. And that each and every one of us, simply because we exist, is truly amazing, and brings, when we're in our authenticity, when we're just being ourselves, when we are just freely and vulnerably and comfortably sharing our gifts with the world, we're going to be accepted, and we're going to be loved, and we're going to be helping people, and we're going to be making a difference, and we're going to be living in our purpose. And so this is really about like, how do you come back to your power? And I want you to recognize what's being stirred up for you like it was stirred up for me. And maybe that hasn't happened for you yet in this retrograde, but pay attention this week. Notice what's coming up. Notice what feelings are coming up that feel like old stuff, that feel like old pathways, because again, this is that opportunity to heal them. And I hope that you also, on the rear end of that, get that come to Jesus moment, right? Where you're getting called out for your own bullshit, or you're getting called out for the way that you're speaking to yourself that simply isn't true. And so I see this being a really powerful week, because we're doing that work and we're recognizing that stuff. And so ask yourself, where do I need to take my power back in my life? Where have I been handing my power away for so long? Or where am I coming back into old patterns that are forcing me to again hand my power over? And how do I bring it back? How do I step back into who I actually am as a powerful co-creator here in this world, as someone that came here with my own gifts, with my own purpose, and that came here to make a difference in this world. That's true of each and every one of us in our own special way. And when we connect with that and when we honor that, this is where we step into our power. So asking yourself those questions, and what actions do I need to take for me to step back into my power? I'm starting to get clear on that. Now that I've had that moment where it's like, where I got called out, I'm starting to have that moment where it's like, okay, how do I need to change some of the ways that I'm talking to myself? How do I need to change some of the things that I've been doing lately that haven't been serving me? And like, how do I need to change my mindset? How do I need to change the things that I'm thinking about? And I think we also need to ask ourselves, like, where have we wandered off from our focus or our best life path? And where do we need to refocus? Where do we need to come back? What do we need to come back to that's really, really important? And where do we need to push ourselves out of our comfort zone? Like, this was, as much as like that video was wildly uncomfortable for me, I'm going to come back and I'm going to do another one, because I think that that's truly the pathway toward connecting to your confidence, is to go for it anyway. You don't have to feel 100% confident in yourself to go for something, to go after it. In fact, I have found throughout my experience that that's how I build confidence, is feeling afraid and going for it anyway. So how can we do that? And how can we push ourselves out of our comfort zone? And, what's coming up for you? What opportunities are coming up for you that are really helping to push you out of your comfort zone, or give you that opportunity to step out of your comfort zone? Because we've been in this process, I've been talking about this energetic move that we've been making, right? And now we're starting to get settled in. We're still doing this unpacking and going through old stuff, and that's a huge part of this process that we're going through right now. But we're right on the edge of some really important doors opening, is what I'm seeing. We're really on the edge of some amazing opportunities that are destined for us, that are on our own personal life path. And so we have to do this work to create this space to allow for these doors to open. So allow this process to happen. It can feel hard. It can feel heavy. I felt like crap last night. I'm not going to lie. I felt really frustrated with myself. And and really, like, in a lot of ways, beat myself up over it, right? Until this morning, when I had that come to Jesus moment where it was like, okay, this can't continue. You can't continue to do this. So that's not helpful either. That kind of stuff where we are not giving ourselves grace and not allowing ourselves to make mistakes and not allowing ourselves to be human. And, we're all just learning. We're all just doing the very best that we can. And as long as we continue to keep coming back to our focus, and as long as we keep coming back to the path and back to challenging ourselves and back to our power, I think that we are all going to be better than okay. So those are your messages for this week. I'm Christy Forsyth with Clarity by Christy. If you want to learn more about me or about clarity, you can check me out at discoveryawakening.com. If this message resonated with you, please share it, please like it, please comment. I always love to hear from you guys. And thanks so much for listening, and I will see you soon with another video. Take care, guys.